Hello. So, here we are. Collective energy report. I've been feeling just really, it kind of started yesterday afternoon where I could start to feel the cue. Sometimes what happens with if you're a medium, a channel, you get a cue of people trying to talk to you. It could be like past loved ones, it could be guides, angels, cosmic beings, anything like that, or information trying to come through. And you can always start to sense the cue. And for me, it's always on the right hand side and I can feel it cueing. But I don't know who this is, and it's not a cue of people. So you might be like, what is she talking about? Usually I can tell before I even do any kind of connection who is trying to come through. I did sense though, someone's mother is, sorry, I'm pointing at you. Someone's mother is around. So, and I feel like she's kind of in her late 30s, early 40s, like someone's mother who has passed away, and she's very like wearing a flowy dress and kind of, I don't know, it's like Woodstock kind of vibe, like that kind of flowy dress, headscarf, that kind of vibe coming through. So maybe someone here today who's watching this has lost their mother and that's kind of a message that she's wanting to come through and support you in some way. But I thought that was really interesting that she's hanging around. That makes it sound terrible, but I definitely have a sense of that today. Yeah, I'm getting a definite yes. Okay, so I'm just going to connect in a little bit more. There is one thing that's already come through. Before I start recording this, I always connect in first. So I spend some time in silence and I just work on my connection, which nowadays my process is pretty short, to be honest with you. I can pretty much do it quite easily. But if I'm trying to get a collective energy report, sometimes I like to spend a little bit of time connecting. So, all right, let's see what's coming through. I'm getting a sense of this river, and it's almost like, to me, it's symbolizing that you need to let go of something, that you've become more attached to things than what you realize. This could be something to do with the fact that we've kind of been in this bubble of lockdown for so long, and I know we're kind of getting back to normal, some people aren't, but you have become attached to lots and lots of different things. It could be ideas, it could be people, it could be things. Things is a thing. So is there something today that you can decide to let go of? Can you let go of one thing that you feel like you could never live without? Like maybe it's your favorite pen. I have one of those. Maybe it's a book that you really, really love. Could you pass that on to somebody else to read? Because when we have attachment to things, we get blocked a little bit for welcoming in new things. You know, I've talked about this before, about how we block ourselves. Sometimes we have to release things in order to welcome in new energy, new things. So can you do that? Can you let something go? Some of you are holding on to ideas that just don't work for you anymore. And it's almost like you're pretending like it does. It's like you're forcing yourself to agree with that idea. It's like, this is your ego, right? So your ego is like, you think it's you. So maybe you always did something, and you read about something, or you learned something, and you've held on to this idea. It could be a belief, and you've held on to it for so long that you've almost like taken it as your own, but you've not really gone to have a look at why that is. And sometimes you do start to fall away from it, but you almost like force yourself back into it again. So maybe there's something you're doing or a thought or idea that doesn't really resonate with you anymore, but you're still doing it. I'm really feeling that. Like, start to be very curious about all of that. Like, why am I doing these things? Actually, that's interesting because I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I don't know if it was on here or if it was in my newsletter. Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why are you believing the things that you're believing? Why do you have these ideas? And are they still working for you? So the energy has been weird. And for some people, they've moved out of it. And that's kind of like we're moving into Virgo season. And Virgo season can be a little bit like slower for some people. But I feel like some of you have been stuck for quite some time and you almost like pinned quite a lot onto this past full moon. Or you're constantly being like, oh, next week I'll feel better, next week I'll feel better, next week I'll feel better, but it's not coming, right? And I'm just seeing this bucket. You know, the bucket's what you get at Halloween, that orange buckets. I don't think we use them really in the UK. Maybe we do, I don't know, I don't have kids. And like all the coins are going into this bucket. I'm like, how does this relate to the thing what I'm talking about? All the coins are going into this bucket and it's almost like you're putting all your, it's a little bit like putting all your eggs in one basket. You're investing continuously in the same thing instead of looking outside of that thing. Maybe it's something completely different that you need, yet you keep going down the same path over and over again. Can you broaden your horizons? That's interesting because I feel like the people who are really stuck right now in this energy need to open up a bit. They need to broaden their horizons. They need to take off the blinkers and be like, what else is there? So that bucket with the coins in it is like, why are you continually putting all your resources into this one thing when there could be something just over here that you haven't noticed yet? You know, you haven't quite seen it, and it's probably because you are so in this energy that you're like, no, I'm very stuck in this energy. I'm very stuck. Like, it's not really going anywhere. It feels very slow. But if you just look, there is something. There is something there, and it could be something very small, but it's going to be able to pull you out of this stagnant energy, and you can start taking some of these coins. And it doesn't have to be an investment. You know, these could mean anything. These could mean energy, right? Put it in something else, right? And see if that starts to shift you a bit, because what's happening with a lot of people is we've been in this weird energy for so long that people have just become resigned to the fact that we're in this energy, right? And yes, you know, energy is everything, absolutely. But we're all individual, unique beings here. And this is an collective energy, and it is very stagnant, but you have the awareness and you have the choice, which I've talked about lots of times before, to change your energy, right? And that doesn't mean forcing when it doesn't feel right. You know, you really have to go with what your soul is telling you, what feels right for you. But if you're stuck and you've been stuck for a long time, take a look at something else. Take a look at something else. It's time to move that energy. Don't get stuck, right? When you're stuck, you take away your choices. You almost like tell yourself you don't have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice. So do something different. Go somewhere different. Read something different. Just do something to shift your energy. And if you keep falling back into this mindset of like, I can't because the energy is so stagnant, then there's something to look at there, because you have the power. And when you're giving your power away like that to the energy, right? To the energy. And like, I am ruled predominantly by the energy, but when I notice myself repeating patterns and saying the energy is real stagnant, the energy is real stagnant. I'm like, wait a minute. I can move the energy, right? For example, going to the gym yesterday, move that energy. Sometimes we have to move as a person, right? You know, do something physical, dancing, yoga, you know, walking, anything to move the energy. Stop watching TV and read a book instead. It's literally like switching things. That gets things moving, right? So I would highly recommend that you do that if you feel like you're stuck. And Archangel Gabriel, I mean, he's been around a lot this past couple of weeks. You know, I did that little reel yesterday. The thing is, it's almost like you're not allowing him to help you, but you're also not helping yourself. You know what I mean? You've forgotten your dreams. Some of you have forgotten what your vision was, right? Because you've almost been like, well, it's not happening, so it's never going to happen. You either need to change your dreams because it's not working, or you need to do something about it, change the energy. I feel like this, sorry, sometimes when I do these, it turns into like, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but that is what's coming through. So Archangel Gabriel, right? He is trying his best to help to push you along the right path, but some of you are almost like standing there and being like, yeah, because he's like trying to push you and you're just like, no, can't, it's not going anywhere, it can't work, it's not going anywhere. And I understand when energy is weird and we've been in this lockdown and things are strange, that a lot of people fall into that mindset, right? It's just nothing's going to work, it's just not going to work. Archangel Gabriel is your guy right now, right? If you do not believe in angels, just trust this one thing, and see, right? Because what have you got to lose? He has seen your entire life plan. So allow him to guide you onto the path that's right for you. And really feel into everything. Be very aware of what's happening around you. You're always being given nudges all of the time. And you have to be very conscious of what are those nudges, what's happening here. Someone tell me, like, is that for me? And you'll know it's for you. Like, someone told me I'm doing a workshop the past 3 days. I started it last night, but I was looking for something, and then my friend Sam told me about this workshop, and I was like, that's for me. You know, when you receive a message through somebody, you might be reading something, you read one sentence and it'll tell you something, you'll be like, that's for me. You know, you just know, but you have to be aware. You gotta wake up, because what's happening with this energy is that people are dozing off, you know, and you're tired. I get it, especially if you've gone through awakening. A lot of people have gone through awakening, especially over the past couple of years, but you gotta stay awake. And you gotta keep looking. You gotta have that awareness and consciousness. Don't let yourself doze off and go asleep and pretend like you have no control, because you absolutely 100% do. You do. You're a powerful being, right? And there's a lot of stuff been coming up the past couple of weeks. That was the real sassy about giving our power away. And we've been giving our power away in so many little ways and not even considering that is giving our power away, right? So awareness is a way of taking your power back, right? Taking your power back. Some of you just need to get into some sort of routine, momentum, and just do it. Like, you know, sometimes, I mean, of course, I'm never telling people to force anything, but some of you need to move that energy, and you're just gonna have to do it, even if you feel like you're dragging yourself out of like mud. Just give it a go, because you'll find that it'll really, really help you. And whoever's mother that is, because she's still here, yeah, maybe someone's watching this, you want to send me a message and maybe I can connect to her for you. But she's got a lovely energy. So yeah, she kind of has like strawberry, blondie, curly hair, probably longer than mine. 30s, 40s, around that age. A kind of flowy, flowery dress. Yeah, I'm not really sure how she passed because I'm not going to do that on a collective energy report. But yeah, I think that's everything. I mean, I feel like there's more stuff to come maybe tomorrow because, as I said, when I start getting this cue, it's because important information is coming through. So I better go because I don't know if this will let me upload it if I make it too long. So have an amazing day.